multicultural nation with a colorful history, awesome wild animals, and jaw-dropping scenery. Come join us as Asian Air Safari embarks on an epic adventure to Rainbow Nation, South Africa. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So, throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. With the words of Mark Twain ringing in my ears, I found myself on the way to fulfilling a long-held dream, going on an African safari. My destination was the southernmost nation of the most epic continent on the planet, South Africa. I was timing my visit for the IAOPA World Assembly and Stellenbosch on the Western Cape.
Well, that was an exciting flight. And now I'm parked here at ExecuJet, one of the biggest FBO here in Cape Town. And I'm ready to start my African adventure.
But first stop, Cape Town. Known as the Mother City, it is the second most populous city in South Africa and holds the distinction of being its most beautiful. The breathtaking Table Mountain dominates Cape Town's skyline. Its beginnings were as a trading station established by the Dutch East India Company in 1652. Here, ships would stop over for repair and provisions en route to Asia. I would need to enlist the help of an expert to tell me more about this fascinating city. I met up with Haviland at Cape Town's colorful Bow Cap district. Haviland is a proud Cape Townian and a student of his city's unique history.
Why Bow Cap?
First of all, it is just above the city.
I see. So it's a literal
city,
literal
yes.
translation.
This area was reserved for the governors of the Dutch East India Company.
I see.
And they brought slaves with them from Malaysia, from Indonesia. When the Dutch realized this is very good farming territory, they moved out, started the town of Stellenbosch.
Okay.
Second oldest city in the country. Yes. They moved there and then they gave these houses to their slaves.
Why
So,
the different colors?
the different colors? Just to be different. First of all, it was, if I needed to tell you where I live, I'd tell you the blue house next to the red one opposite the green one. This is one of those places where you'll find on the corner you've got a Muslim guy, next to him a Jewish and a Christian and a Rastafarian and a Buddhist, all on the same street.
Right.
After Bow Cap,
Yes.
we made our way down Signal Hill to the company's gardens.
See, it's called the Company Gardens. The main purpose of the garden was to grow fruit and vegetables for the governors and the Dutch staff who came in here.
And right here, they were planting fruit trees and what have you.
Exactly, there's only one fruit tree left.
In 1913, the National Botanic Gardens at Kirstenbosch were founded on an estate bequeathed by Cecil Rhodes, and the company's garden became a public recreational area. Among the sites, the President's Workplace, the Natural History Museum, Planetarium, and War Memorials. When Asian Air Safari returns, when Dutch power was waning, the British seized control of the Cape in 1814. With a population of 25,000 slaves, 20,000 white colonists, 15,000 indigenous Khoisan, and 1,000 freed black slaves, power lay with the white elite in Cape Town. In the heart of Cape Town's business district is Green Market Square. It had originally been a slave market, then a fruit and vegetable market. Now, it is a flea market where you find curios, souvenirs, and knickknacks from all over Africa.
So all the African artwork is just really colorful, huh? Very nice here. This looks very interesting for me.
The famous Maasai, the famous tribe.
And this is a Maasai tribe,
The
huh?
Maasai, the famous Maasai tribe itself.
It was time to exercise my bargaining skills.
And how much
East Africa.
would something like this be?
This one costs 150 for you.
Oh, what about 80 rands?
Oh, that is too small. 150 is good for you. You can see it.
100 and I take it.
120?
No, 100. Come on, 100 is fine.
120, come on.
100. This is all the one I have.
Come on, I know you have something.
100 is okay. Please.
I mean, you want to take this artwork
Yes.
home with only 100.
Yeah. It's a souvenir from your place.
Okay, I'll see, yes, but it's too small.
Just 100 is okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it looks good.
During the apartheid era, Green Market Square was often the site of political protests. Introduced in 1948, apartheid was a policy of racial segregation.
During the apartheid era was demeaning, to say the least. Being robbed of your humanity, it was easy then to see that I'm not white because I had a big Afro hairstyle.
The inhabitants were classified into 4 racial groups: native, white, colored, and Asian. The government segregated education, medical care, beaches, and other public services. Nelson Mandela, son of a associate chief and a brilliant lawyer, led the African National Congress Party, whose aim was to increase black rights. As protests increased, the government banned the ANC and imprisoned Mandela and his colleagues on Robben Island, where he would spend most of his 27 years in prison.
11 February 1990 happened. The most wonderful day in South African history, the day Mr. Mandela walked out of prison. That meant that apartheid was not the law anymore. That opportunity arose for me to be me. And that is what I'm living today. Living the changes that my entire generation stood up for, wanted, fought. We have that today.
Behind me is the Cape Town City Hall. And in February 11, 1990, Nelson Mandela stepped out and made his speech to 300,000 people right here in the square.
In 1994, Mandela was elected president in the country's first democratic elections. His famous inaugural speech, "Free at Last," made the country focus on the future instead of the past. Today, South Africa is known as the Rainbow Nation, signifying the multiculturalism and coming together of people from many nations. With the success of the World Cup, South Africa has seemingly left the dark past and is soaring to new heights.
It's actually a long way down to the beach. I'd really be a little bit worried.
Signal Hill, also known as Lion's Rump, is a flat-topped landmark next to Lion's Head and Table Mountain. But for the best view of Cape Town, one must go up to Table Mountain, considered the 8th wonder of the world. At 3,563 feet above sea level, it affords you with an iconic view of the city.
It's freezing out here. The wind is super strong. And look at these clouds. We're actually on top of the clouds. And this is Table Mountain for you.
When Asian Air Safari returns, one of the best things to do in Cape Town is to take a stroll through the Victoria and Alfred waterfront.
Victoria and Alfred waterfront is a place where everybody hangs out in Cape Town, especially on a good day like this.
Simply referred to as waterfront, it is a multitude of shops, restaurants, bars, and tourist attractions. It is still a busy working harbor. It was time to explore the southern end of the Cape Peninsula and the False Bay coast. Muizenberg is a laid-back seaside suburb popular with Capetonians.
This is the town of Muizenberg. It's south of Cape Town, and they say that this is the best place to learn surfing. And I think you can see why.
Further along is the town of Fishhook, popular with Capetonian commuters, retirees, and holiday makers. Simonstown was seized from the Dutch by Britain's Royal Navy in 1814. This British influence is apparent in the architecture of the town. Today, Simonstown is an important base for the South African Navy. Nearby is Boulders Beach, famous for its resident penguins.
This is the African penguin. It's sometimes called the jackass penguin because it makes it sound like a jackass.
One will come across many curious natives on the drive towards Cape Point. The Cape of Good Hope Nature Reserve provides fantastic scenery, great walks, and many deserted beaches to choose from. A lighthouse overlooks the tip of the peninsula. From there, one can view the end of the southern Cape Town. If you're too lazy to walk, there is a funicular railway. It was a no-brainer for me.
The option is actually to walk. Obviously, I take the train. And that over there is the lighthouse. I don't think it's functioning now. The functioning one is on the other side. The view here is something you can never see anywhere else in this world, huh? Everything here seems to be different. Rock formation, the plants and everything. And take a look at this black lizard.
Cape Point is of great historical interest. Named the Cape of Storms by Portuguese explorer Bartolomeu Dias in 1488, the dangerous rocks and violent seas earned the respect of sailors for centuries. Heading back to Cape Town, we encounter more breathtaking scenery, such as Hout Bay and Misty Hill. The road takes you through Chapman's Peak, one of the most scenic roads in the world. It might seem familiar because it's been featured in countless commercials and feature films. On my last day in Cape Town, it was time to meet up with Haviland once more to sample some African braai or barbecue. He knew of a good place in Guguletu Township, 15 kilometers from Cape Town. Townships are urban living areas that were reserved for non-whites in the apartheid era. Places like this are now experiencing a rebirth. Establishments such as Mizoli's Meats are bringing Cape Townians from all walks of life together.
Lamb
You select your meat from the butcher.
and pork over there.
Those are big.
Well, let's go for it. I think the lamb looks interesting.
It is expertly seasoned with secret rubs and grilled over charcoal fires.
Now we go into the noisy part outside.
You dine in an outdoor area where at 12 noon, a full-blown party may be happening. Mizoli's has become the hippest hangout in Cape Town. But the star is still the meat, perfectly grilled, tender, and juicy. One can even engage in an impromptu jam session. Of all the beautiful places I've seen here in Cape Town, this is the place that exemplifies a true rainbow nation of South Africa. For here, the racial tensions of the past are forgotten, and the air is filled with exuberance and anticipation. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, colored, or Asian. Everybody can all get together for the love of good food and good times.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in our next Asian Air Safari.